What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. It is tomato planting time, my favorite time of the year. Behind me, we got our beds here. We're going to be planting them up with some of the rarest, most amazing tomato varieties you've probably never heard of. And we're going to bring you guys along for it. So let's go. So if this seems quite a lot different than our normal gardening style, you would be correct. This is not actually our garden. Our garden is over there by the pond. We'll have lots of videos coming up on that pretty soon. And we're also going to be doing in-ground gardening and a bunch of other fun stuff. This is our seed plot. So this is actually where we're going to be cultivating seed that goes in our packets that then gets shipped out to thousands of gardeners all around the world. So this garden right here is going to be a little bit different than how we would normally be cultivating crops. The reason why I wanted to show you this and how we're doing this is because it is a gardening method that you could in fact use at your house. This is going to be a little bit more of a commercial style of growing tomatoes. It's not necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea, but if I don't show it, I'm not really doing my part of showing you all the methods of growing food that do exist. As I said, gardening is not a one-size-fits-all solution. And so behind me here, we've got our plastic weed fabric. This is known as silage tarp. This is the most integral part to how we grow here on the farm when it comes to our seed plots, because this cuts down on weed suppression by 97 to 98% weeds. And the only weeds we're going to have are the weeds that come up through the holes where we actually puncture the plastic to put our plants. And so this really cuts down on weeds. It also really helps us to consolidate how much water we actually have to use to water our plants, because the plastic, though it obviously doesn't get the rainfall, any water that does enter underneath the plastic gets trapped and then just gets reabsorbed, and it just constantly just evaporates and gets reabsorbed. So the amount that we have to water is dramatically less than normal as well. And that's one big thing that, as you'll find with using silage tarp, is that it cuts down on your watering, it cuts down on your weeding. It's a little bit different. And if you know how to use it, it can be a very valuable tool to grow a lot more efficiently. Because when you're dealing with, about 3 acres of plastic, it's a lot. If you didn't have the plastic, it'd be 3 acres you'd be having to water all the time, weed all the time. And that's why a lot of people just don't have large gardens. So this actually takes a lot of the workload out. So that's our silage tarp. We actually got this from Bootstrap Farmer. They're a great source for this stuff. We got it directly from their website, and that's where we got it. These are 50-foot by 50-foot squares of it, black on the bottom, white on top. We don't use black because black is intended to heat up the soil, solarize the soil. We don't want to do that. We want to reflect the sun's light back up into the canopy. It's going to help our plants actually grow better. It's going to help our fruit ripen faster. It's also going to keep the soil cooler throughout the summer. All amazing benefits, and because it's opaque, it's going to smother out weeds, and it's going to give us a beautiful seed bed. If you come in here and check this out, these beds here are put on about 3 to 4 inches of compost. Now, we put this compost down in the winter, actually, when the ground was totally frozen. We brought in semi-truck loads of compost. They basically dumped these big piles, and we had a bulldozer come and basically level all the compost flat. We basically marked the corners with little furring strips with pink flags to notate the corners of where the beds should end. And then they just kind of pushed everything flat. It was a great way of doing it. But this compost here is essentially what is going to give us our planting bed for our tomatoes to grow in. The soil was pretty good quality. Like this right here is, we're not talking garden quality soil by any means. This is a field. So when you look at soil quality, you're not going to have the quality that you have in your raised beds. We know that, we understand that. But that being said, it is considered sandy loam. It's a very loose, well-draining soil. It does compact if you run it over with an excavator. So it is a little bit compacted. And so to alleviate that, we're going to use a soil auger. We're going to cut our holes where we're planting our tomatoes. Then we're going to use a soil auger to basically loosen that soil up, give us a really quick planting hole, and just kind of work in that compost into that native soil all in one, and then they'll be off to the races. All right, it's planting time. We got here, this is the Queen of the Night tomato. Very excited about that. Make my hole. I'll show you how I make the hole here in a second. We've gone ahead and cut a slit in the plastic using a box cutter, and then basically just drilled a hole with our soil auger. Now the plants are going to be spaced about 2.5 to 3 feet apart, and then the rows are going to be spaced about 5 to 6 feet apart. So we'll have plenty of room in between each plant and then in between each row so that we can come in here and maintain them, harvest when we need to, stuff like that. And we'll be able to really maximize the amount of plants in here, which is just super exciting. Like I've dreamed about this for years. This is just absolutely amazing. It actually takes me back to really like OG YouTube days when we had our tomato patch and it's all we grew. We had what's called, we called it the Noah's Ark Tomato Project. And a lot of you that have been following this channel for a long time will remember that. And that was a ton of fun. We just had loads and loads of tomato varieties. So I've got here my box cutter, cut my little X there just like that. And if you want to get your hands on one of these soil augers, these things are handy. Oh my gosh, they are handy. We got them from Laura and Aaron over at Garden Answer. They are absolutely amazing people doing really amazing things for the gardening industry. Absolutely love them. They are people from my own heart. Go check them out. Go show them some love. I mean, man, what a tool. So go check them out. They have a variety of different size soil augers, and it just makes, oh my gosh, it makes planting such a breeze. All right, put that in there like that, and then just tuck it in. There we go. 2 down, about 240 more to go. There we go. And then we're also gonna come back here and pin these down when they're done, so that way the wind doesn't catch them and kind of tatter them. Nice little X there. We're gonna get our auger here. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Now we're getting the hang of it. Okay, so if I go in reverse, it doesn't throw the soil everywhere as I'm pulling it out of the hole. So that is how we're gonna do it. That is amazing. All right, cool. And then we're just gonna get our pins and pin this down. Check that out. Look at that. No room for weeds to come up. I mean, a little slit here, a little slit here, nothing. You just water right at the base of the plant, and then all this plastic over here just traps the water. It's gonna condense as it evaporates. It's gonna condense, drip back down, and just keep recycling until all that water is gone and you need to re-water. Absolutely amazing. I love it. It's too easy. Oh, that's just so easy. I love it. Oh my gosh, the soil is loosened, it's amended, it's integrated in, the compost gets integrated in with that sandy loam soil we had from the field. Tuck it in. Wow, beautiful. Oh my gosh. Doesn't get easier than that. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what about fertilizer? Well, fertilizing is pretty simple. Number one, we have a lot of compost here, which is going to feed them for quite a while, but we're also going to be feeding them with Trifecta Plus throughout the season. And when that time comes, we're just simply going to lift back our flap, throw in a 1/4 cup, pin it back down, and we'll be good to go. You only want to fertilize when you have to. That's the thing. A lot of people think that you have to always be fertilizing. You only need to fertilize when plants need it. Do not over-fertilize your plants, even when using organic fertilizers, because all you're doing is you're wasting money and, well, you're wasting money. Just don't. You know, if you're using synthetic fertilizers, you could definitely burn your plants, you can cause a lot of damage. But with organic fertilizers, you're just wasting money, and it's just not necessary. So we're gonna wait for the plants to communicate that to us when they need a little bit of a top off of nutrients, and we'll give them that food when they need it. Plus, we also have a little bit of a upper hand advantage here because the previous year, the farmer that we bought the land from, he grew soybeans here. And soybeans are a legume. That means there's gonna be tons of nitrogen from that crop that got tilled in and turned under that hasn't been utilized by any other crop. So there's gonna be lots of nitrogen still in the soil plus the compost. So we shouldn't have to do a ton of fertilizing this year, even on our tomatoes. But as I said, when midsummer rolls around, if the plants are looking like they need it, that's okay. That's when we'd fertilize. All right. So I know you guys are going to be asking next. Okay, well, how do you plan on staking them, Luke? Are you going to single stem them up a trellis? Are you going to cage them? What are you going to do? That's a lot of tomatoes. Correct. As I said, this is a little bit different gardening method. We've done videos on this in the past, this staking method. It's known as the Florida weave. Now what we're going to do is we are going to get some T-posts, and I'd say about every 10 feet or so, I'd wager probably every 3 to 4 plants, we're going to put a T-post. And then that T-post is then going to have some, it's called baler's twine. Baler's twine, it's really, really stiff, kind of nylon or waxy coated line. And we're going to run it, tie it to the first T-post. And then in between each plant, we're going to weave it in, out. And then when we come back, we're going to do the reverse. So essentially, it will get pinched in between basically two lines, 2 pieces of wire, and that's going to stake it straight up. Then after that, we're going to basically select which branches we want to keep. We're not going to single stem them entirely, but we're also not going to let them just bush and go crazy. We're kind of just going to keep them at a manageable height. And that's going to allow them to really kind of just fill out, kind of get a little bit bushy, a little bit tall, kind of a hybrid approach. But it's a very efficient way to stake up hundreds of tomato plants, because I'm not going to take the time to single stem 250 tomato plants. And this is one of 3 tomato blocks we have. We're going to have almost 1,000 tomato plants here on the farm. And so single stemming, yeah, not going to happen. You know, staking them up, caging them, no way. Those cages are so expensive. We're not going to put tomato cages over these. I mean, that'd be almost 1,000 tomato cages at $5 a pop. I'm not spending $5,000 in tomato cages. This Florida weave method, we're talking each row might have $30 in T-posts and maybe like 25 cents to $1 in your baler's twine. It's really, really cheap, and it's very efficient for large scale operations. So I absolutely love it. I've done it before when I grew tomatoes for market, and it's a really great way of cultivating tomatoes. So there you guys go. I'm gonna keep planting here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. I'm just having a great day. This is like, I was born for this. This is awesome. I feel so good. I love it out here. It's great, it's quiet, especially when I get to turn the camera off. I love you guys, but I also love hearing nothing. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. If you've tried this method, give me a thumbs up and let me know that you also like it in the comments box. If you've never heard of this method, let me know, and let me know if you've maybe been encouraged to try it. And also let me know if you have any questions. I would be happy to answer any questions that you've got on this method. And if you have not yet gotten your tomato seeds, make sure you go check out MIgardener.com. You still have so much time left to plant a garden. I'll tell you what, you're not too late. There are so many people that still haven't even gotten their gardens in yet. And you can absolutely get a garden started, because we are just getting started ourselves. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all learned something new, and we'll catch you all on the next episode. Grow bigger, everybody. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care. Bye.